Okay, so in this review, I'm going over the 7.4 to 7.6 quiz review. This first one wants me to factor completely. Since I don't have any numbers in front of my g here, I can just start off by using the x method. So I'm going to write 20 up front, or up top, and 9 on the bottom. I'm looking for my numbers that multiply to 20 and add to 9. I know that this is 4 and 5, but if I didn't, I could use my calculator, and I could go to y equals, which is the top left, and then in the equation here, I could type in 20 divided by x, and I go second graph, and if I scroll through this list, I want to add up whole numbers together. So if there's anything with a decimal, I don't want to add it. So I have like -2 and -10. That adds up to -12. That's not what I want. Then I have -1 minus 20. That adds up to -21. That's not what I want. Then I have 1 and 20 gives me positive 21. 2 and 10 gives me 12. 4 and 5 adds up to 9. So then the way I split this up is I'm going to take one of my g's and I'm going to do g plus 4. And then I'm going to split it into a second one that is g plus 5. So same idea for number 2. I'm going to have -36 and 5. This is going to be 9 and -4. One thing I should say is I could have written this g plus 5 and g plus 4, and then it would have been the same thing. So order doesn't matter on these. So I have w plus 9 times w minus 4. Again, I could have written this as w minus 4 times w plus 9. Over here, number 3, I want to do my x. So I have -72 minus 1. So remember, if there's nothing written in front of that letter, it is a coefficient of 1. So I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to -72 and add to -1. This is -9 and positive 8. So I'm going to write this as b minus 9 times b plus 8. On number 4, I have a number out front, so I want to divide out this GCF. So I'm going to divide everything by 4. I want to leave it out front because I don't have an equation to get rid of it. So it's going to leave me with p squared minus 8p plus 15. So I want to do the x method with the numbers I have left over on the inside. So I have positive 15, and I want to add up to -8. It's going to be -3 and -5. So I still have my 4 on the outside. Then I'm going to have p minus 3 times p minus 5. On number 5, I cannot divide everything out by 4. So what I want to do here is I can either use the slide and divide method or I can factor by grouping. So I'm going to slide and divide on number 5 and then factor by grouping on number 6. On the test, you can use whichever method you want. So to slide and divide, I want to take my coefficient from out front, and I'm going to do x squared minus 5x, that part. So my coefficient moves. And then I'm going to take the 4 and multiply it by the -6, which is going to give me -24 at the end. And I want to do the x method again. So I'm looking for -24 and -5. This is -8 and positive 3. Going to rewrite this as x minus 8, x plus 3. Then because I moved that 4 out, I have to go ahead and put this back in. So I want to divide both of my numbers by 4. So this first one is going to just turn into x minus 2. And the second one is going to stay x plus 3/4. I don't like having fractions in my answer, so for the one that has a fraction, I'm going to take this 4 and move it back out in front of that x. So my final answer here is going to be x minus 2 times 4x plus 3. On number 6, I'm going to use the AC method, so I need to know what my A, B, and C are. My A is 6, my B is -27, and my C is -54. So I want to find A times C, which is going to be 6 times -54. Which gets me -324. So I want to create my x. I'm going to have -324 and -27. I do not know these numbers off the top of my head, so I'm going to go to y equals. And then I'm going to clear this out. I'm going to do -324 divided by x. I'm going to go second graph. And I want to add to -27. So I have 1 minus 324. That's going to give me -323. 2 minus 162 is going to give me -160. 3 minus 108 is -105. 4 minus 81 is -77. 6 minus 54 is negative 48. 9 minus 36, that will give me negative 27. So then I put those in. What I want to do next is I am going to rewrite this equation, but instead of writing negative 27, I'm going to replace it with these two numbers. So I'm going to have plus 9x minus 36x minus 54. And then from here, I want to split it up into two groups. So on my first group, I'm going to ignore the second group for now. I want to factor out my GCF. What these two numbers have in common, they both are divisible by 3x. So I'm going to divide them by 3x. I write the 3x out in front of the parentheses. And then 6x squared divided by 3x turns into 2x. 9x divided by 3x, the x's cancel out, and 9 divided by 3 is 3. On my second group, I see that my first number is negative, so I want to take out a negative. And then I want to check to see what my largest factor is of both of these. I want to say it's 18, so I can check. I can do 36 divided by 18, that gives me a whole number. And 54 divided by 18 is 3. If I can't figure it out, I can always do factor trees to figure it out. So I'm going to take out negative 18. I think the numbers on the test are also going to be smaller. So I know 36 divided by negative 18 is going to be 2x, and then negative 54 divided by 18 is going to be 3. So notice, if I've done this correctly, these two things in parentheses should be the same. What I want to do next is I want to take the two numbers out front and put those together in a set. I'm undoing the distributive property here. So then I'm just going to write the 2x plus 3 only gets written once.